Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for another match of the Rugby League World Cup, the last quarter final that we are having. We already know 3 of the 4 sides. New Zealand, they will be playing Australia in one side in the semi-final draw. At the moment, England have confirmed their spot on this side of the draw, and this is a massive Pacific Nations clash taking place between the Tongans and the Samoans. Tonga come in as slight favourites. They've got a couple big returns into their side. We will be looking through all the information you need to know before getting to kick off in only the 10 minutes time. But first of all, looking through at how these two sides ended up finishing in their group stages. As you can see, straight away, there are some pretty talented scores on the board for the Tongans, including their last game, 92 points to 10 that they were able to win out over the Cook Islands. A massive performance. They were undefeated in their group, which is something that they can say that England cannot. Unfortunately for the English, they just didn't quite get that kind of momentum early on that they would have been after having that first loss of the World Cup up against the English, but then they were able to win up against Greece 72 points to 4, winning up against France 62 points to 4 also. So that's a common scoreline for the Samoans. They can keep Tonga to only the 4 in this game. They would certainly be on the right track, but this is how the two groups finished. As you can see, England at the top of the bunch, 3 wins from 3, but then Samoa, they came in second, which is why they faced Tonga here in this playoff game. Tonga, they are undefeated so far throughout this Rugby League World Cup. The sides now sitting in the tunnels, just about to make their way out onto the field. Junior Paulo will be leading out the Samoans, and it will be Tamalolo, in fact, is leading out Tonga. It is great to see him back in the side, but first of all, we will look through at the starting lineups and reserves for both of these sides. They are going to be as follows. Will Hopawate finds himself at the fullback jersey for the Tongans in this contest, which is absolutely awesome to see. They said that they gave him 7 weeks. They wanted to make sure he was going to be match fit for this contest, and that is why they gave him those few extra weeks. Daniel Tupou at number 2, Will Penasini in the backline, Mosisi Suli, also Sione Katoa, Isaiah Katoa, who I believe will end up with kicking responsibilities for this contest, and then it will be Tui Moala Loro here as the number 7. Then looking through at the forwards, Whanua Blake, Havili, another very experienced name to have added back in to this Tongan side. Fotuaika there at number 17. Kaufusi, he has been brilliant throughout this Rugby League World Cup. Kalamatangi at number 12, and Jason Tamalolo, the man who I mentioned just before, recently returning into the side and already scoring some tries for this Rugby League World Cup. So that is the starting lineup that the Tongans have gone with. Looking through at Samoa's starting side, and the big man, or the big name here, is Jerome Luai. They've said if he plays well, Samoa go through to the semi-finals. If he doesn't play well, though, that could be the difference between a win and a loss. So Lee will be slotting in at fullback, Taylor May out on one wing, Stephen Crichton and Tim Lafai will make up the midfield. Brian To'o at 5. It's been a little bit quiet in the last 1 or 2 games. He'll be looking to definitely ramp it up again in this contest. Jerome Luai, like I mentioned, and Anthony Milford there at number 7. Then in the fullback will be Junior Paulo, Danny Levi, Royce Hunt, Ligi Sau, also Jaden Sua, and then Kaufusi, the last man in the starting lineup for the Samoans. Looking through at the interchange players, a few of these big guys who will be coming off the bench, certainly trying to have an impact. Looking through at the likes of a Havili, who actually is in the starting lineup, I should mention. So the sides are a little bit wrong there, but they've still got David Fafita. He always packs a punch once he makes his way out of the park. Harris Tavita for the Samoans seems to be a bit of a dark horse. And, of course, Josh Papali'i is there as well. But Samoa and Tonga both making their way out onto the field. Like I mentioned, the winner of this match will go on to face England. So there is a chance that we could see a rematch of a game we saw throughout the group stage when Samoa were defeated by the English. Tonga, though, yet to face England throughout this Rugby League World Cup. And with the amount of points they were able to score last week, anything short of 30 points here, I would say Tonga will be relatively disappointed with. But do let me know in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be winning this contest? Will it be Toa Samoa or will it be Matima'a Tonga, who are able to get themselves the big victory? It looks like an overcast day here in England for this contest, although luckily not a lot of rain, which means we'll see a bit more free-flowing play than we may normally see. It was absolutely bucketing down, but we have now got the Samoan national anthem, which means we are not too far away at all, ladies and gentlemen, from this exciting match getting underway. Now, this match, I have to say England versus Papua New Guinea was going to be one that I was excited for, but this game, Samoa versus Tonga, these two sides are going to throw absolutely everything at each other. And there's going to be some sore bodies tomorrow, that is for sure. Even after the first maybe set or two, people are going to be limping. They're going to be holding their ribs together. And it's always going to be physical out there on the park. Samoa in a gritty match, says Ed for the prediction. And also 50-50, says Shay in there. And yeah, I think 50-50 is probably a very good shout at this point of time, because both of these sides, they have the potential, but they haven't really been challenged in the same way throughout this Rugby League World Cup. We've seen Samoa, they were really pushed by England, whereas Tonga, you'd have to say they were pushed by Papua New Guinea, but recently we just saw England absolutely destroy Papua New Guinea out on the field, so maybe that will have a little bit of, something in the back of the mind just to think about for this contest as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back for more of the matches of the Rugby League World Cup in the future. So proud of the Australia Sevens boys. Tremendous performance. B2B says, and it was Ed Vogel. Yeah, they did very well to get themselves the win over the Flying Fijians in the final, getting that final last-minute try. Very impressive indeed. And as a South African, I'm not too familiar with rugby league, but living in the UK for 20 years, I've watched a bit. Says Randolph. So yeah, I think this is one of those games that anyone who hasn't watched a lot of rugby league, if you sat them down in front of a TV and you said, watch these two sides play each other, they would instantly fall in love with the game, because these two sides are going to throw absolutely everything into it. They epitomize what the meaning of passion and heart is for a side to play a game of rugby league. That child has just dabbed during the Tonga national anthem. Not too sure about that, but the Tonga national anthem taking place, and it looks like a lot of very focused players out there on the field. So my score prediction, I am going to say Tonga win by 6, but I can easily see Toa Samoa winning by the same margin. I want to see a close game go down to the wire with both sides having their own little attacks, nice plays involved as well. But looking through at the backs, I think Will Hopewadi is going to be a key for Tonga here, because he has recently returned to the side. Depending on whether or not they feel he is 100%, they gave him those extra weeks to make sure his injury was 100% healed. But they need to make sure that he is 100% out there, because if he's not, then Samoa will try and make the absolute most of it. We have also got the league. It's easier to watch than Union for me, says Ed Vogel. I guess it's one of those ones that if you do enjoy a fast-paced game and you like seeing both sides in position relatively often, I guess rugby league is the one for you, as you will see the set of 6 and then the opposition theoretically should end up with the ball, unless you look at that game between England and Papua New Guinea, where we saw the English really just dominate the possession stat for a majority of the early stages of the match. Now, these two sides, they will be facing off on the halfway line. The weather's looking a little bit worse than I thought it was. I think it's probably only about 5 minutes away from absolutely bucketing down at the ground, which means both sides want to get the best start possible. And Samoa is my uneducated guess, says Randolph there, and Luai will be man of the match, says Ed, and he has had a very good Rugby League World Cup, I would say. And I think the commentators have said it as well before the match even got underway. If Luai plays well, Samoa win. If Luai gets shut down, Tonga go through. And that is the best way of describing it. Jerome Luai here is such a key in that back line for the Samoans. He's got Brian Toho, his teammate from the Panthers. They know how to go on and win titles. They've done it in the NRL, but this is a whole nother level. Definitely when you're facing off up against a big Tongan side with Havili and Hopewadi both returning. Pinasini in that back line. You've also got Katoa, the youngster. He's been kicking tremendously off the tee. David Fafita, Jason Tamalolo. Lot of big power in this matchup. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be able to score themselves the first try of this contest? I'm going to go with a bit of a guess that might be completely wrong. I'm going with Aiden Whenua-Blake as the first try scorer in this contest, the number 8 for Tonga. I don't know why, but I just feel like we're going to see a big run forward from one of the large forwards for either Tonga or Samoa, breaking their way forward, just hitting it up at the line and crashing over for the try. And there is a steer going on now between Tonga and Samoa while both sides do their pre-match cultural rituals. They are not breaking that steer. Stoaliti for the first try, says Ed Vogel. So going with the fullback from the Toa Samoa side. Definitely a decent shout. He has also been looking very good throughout the last little while. And now Tonga and Samoa, they'll both march up to the halfway line very soon. Tell you what, you wouldn't want to be the cameraman in between these two sides when they are facing off. You would be absolutely just shaking your boots off, because you'd just be worried that one of the big Tongans or Samoans are just going to crush you in the middle of the face-to-face. And this is something that certainly is worth a ticket to go to the game alone, with the fact that these two sides get to face off before the match even gets underway. I think Josh Papali'i going to be a big player for the interchange. They're going to have to make sure they get the timing right here, Samoa, for when they bring their players off the bench. I will show you guys once again the results that they have had in their recent games. First game up against England did not go the way that they planned, which is why they want to win this game so badly, to get that redemption and then face them in the semi-final. But England winning that game 60 points to 16. Samoa, they did a complete 180, managed to get themselves the result, 72 points to 4 in favor of the Samoans. And then on the 31st of October, Halloween night, 62 points to 4. A scary performance from the Samoans with how they were able to dismantle the French. Looking through at Tonga for their results, they had a close game up against the Comals for their very first game of Group D. Then from there, they beat Wales 32 points to 6. That game was relatively close in the first half, but then the Tongans able to break their way through. And then that game last week, also on Halloween night, it was an absolutely phenomenal performance from Tonga, 92 points to 10. Massive for the Tongans in terms of the confidence building. Still facing off in the middle of the field here, Tonga and Samoa. Neither side going to be taking a backward step. Jerome Luai gets right in the face of his opposition, and they all give each other handshakes. That's the thing. It's such a passionate, aggressive face-off. And then they all go, yeah, good job, mate. Yep, we're ready to go. We're going to have a good match-up out here. Let's put in some big hits and let's show the crowd exactly what Pacifica Island games can be like. They are just showing the back line once again. Hopewadi back. Also, Havili has made his way into the fourth back, so bringing in that experience for the Tongans. They are the two players that a lot of people have been talking about. And, of course, Jason Taumalolo being back out there for the Tongans after an impressive performance last week. Picked a dream match to come back, really, because it was just a massive, massive one for the Tongans, getting that win over the Cook Islands and Samoa. They've got May out on one wing, To'o out on the other, and Luai, the magician, at 6. Going to have to make sure that he is getting everything right for this matchup. They've also got Junior Paulo out there. And then off the bench, you've got Josh Papali'i. So some pure size for both of these sides. Like I mentioned, there's going to be massive hits. There's going to be bone-rattling tackles. And Ashley Klein has to try and keep control of this fixture now. Will be the referee in charge of this one. But everyone seems to almost have a stoic look on their face at the moment. They know that this game is about to absolutely burn the house down and blow the roof off the place. They haven't even got a roof. They're going to have to build one, and then they'll put it back on, and then it will get blown off as soon as this match gets underway, although they'll have to build it quite quickly because Suali'i just about to kick off this game for the Samoans, who will be going from right to left in this first half. Last pre-match stretches are going to be taking place, and now we are just about ready to go for this match, ladies and gentlemen. The drums and the crowd are noisy, and they are ready for a fight. Now, it's going to be Toa Samoa about to kick off this game. Like I mentioned, Daniel, first try for the Tongans. There's Rodney, but it's kicked off long, and this now, quarterfinal underway. It bounces up, and Kolamatangi able to take it for Tonga, wrestled down by Lafai. They find themselves just out from their own 20-metre line now for the Tongans. Driving hard at the line. They will try and get everyone a nice little carry early. Make sure you're getting everyone nice and warmed up. Second phase already for the Tongans, going off to the left-hand side. I'm looking out for Jason Taumalolo. I feel like he'll be lurking, waiting for his first carry of the game. Fodawaika there has that one. Now back off to the short side. Running forward, Samoa's defence so far not doing too badly, although Tonga have just been throwing that one-dimensional attack at them round the side of the breakdown. Hit it up with the big forward, make it to the halfway line. Almost 6 again was called there. But Tonga now moving up inside of the half of the Samoans. That will be fifth and final. A decent first set, and they gain around the 45-metre mark. Gone high. Samoa taken nicely by Joseph Suali'i. The youngster tries to go through. Big shot put on him and wrestled down to the turf. Trying to get back up to his feet. Luai plays half, and there's a bit of afters as well between those two players. Not too happy with the big shot. Samoa will win Says not your everyday cultist. And the chat as well now, it is going to be going off to the left-hand side for the Samoans. Junior Paulo, the captain, hits it up at the line. I think the big question is who will be able to get that first initial breakthrough. At the moment, it seems like it's going to be structured from both sides. No one going for that unorthodox style, but the fourth and final now is about to be going down for the Samoans. Well, Suali'i hits it up now. Levi goes short, kicks hard. And they actually gained the exact same meterage as Tonga got. I don't know how often that happens in a game of rugby league, that both sides in their first completed set gain exactly the same amount, but they both made 46. Now Tonga have got this ball 15 metres out from their line. The penalty goes the way of Tonga for offside against the Samoans. And go Samoa, says Alfea there, and yes, Samoa will win, says Alfea there as well. And they will certainly be hoping so. They want to go on and face off with England in the semi-final. That is the big goal for this Toa Samoa side. They want to show everyone that that first game that England beat them by that 54-point margin was an absolute fluke. And they are now here to try and make sure they win the World Cup. But Tonga, I believe, just round the side, just a little bit too quick up there for Samoa, out of position. And the penalty did go the way of Tonga. And now they find themselves 45 metres out from the Samoan line. Kalfusi makes 10 metres. 3 minutes through this contest already being played at a frantic pace. Taumalolo hits it up at the line. I do apologise for my voice as well. It is starting to disappear. So we have done about 30 hours of commentary over the last probably 3 or 4 days now. It's going to be Kalamatangi breaking through. Was there a little bit of obstruction? Yes, there was. And that is what the penalty is going to be for in favour of the Samoans. Now, that was a little bit lucky because Tonga started making a few extra metres there. They were waiting to tackle Kalamatangi, but every time they did just that, he made those extra couple metres. Jerome Luai kicks it down into touch, and now 40 metres out from the Samoan line, they will have themselves the quick tap. But Matt Parrish in charge of Samoa. I know that after that first game up against England, his head was on a swivel. A lot of people wanted to see him go, but now I think he's slowly starting to redeem himself. And the guys of the Samoan supporters, Stephen Crichton gets this one. It was a little bit loose from the Samoans early on, but a nice low tackle made by Tonga there for Nua Blake. Helps drag him down now up to the halfway line. Levi goes to Junior Paulo. Down again, 40 metres out from the Tongan line. Levi goes to the left-hand side. It's a big carry forward. I believe that was Royce Hunt that time for Samoa. Making some huge carries throughout the last match up against the French as well. Now short ball from Milford. Straight through for Samoa, slipping over Tonga. Didn't have a defender there in the first try of the match. Is scored by Sua. Jaden Sua gets it. That was a mistake and a half from Tonga. They had the man back there to cover, but unfortunately for him, his boots weren't working. He slipped over like he was ice skating. And then the gap opened up for the Samoans to just run it in for the easy try. Jaden Sua gets the first try of the match, his first of the Rugby League World Cup as well for the 2021 Cup, that is. This was going straight through. Great short ball from Milford, and then the slip from Tonga. Unfortunately, that's one of those ones that, you know, you want to say you can't really help it, but you got to make sure you're not overcommitting. It was a good step from Sua, who sent him the wrong way. Go Tonga, says Sione there, but Sua scores. Samoa take the lead. And that is going to be pretty much a dream start to the match for the Toa Samoa boys. 5 minutes into this contest, going to be straight out in front. Should be a relatively easy kick here for Stephen Crichton. I believe his kicking stats throughout this Rugby League World Cup have been pretty decent as well, kicking around that 80 to 90% success rate. Taking a few steps back. So make sure that this one certainly goes over. You don't want to make the mistake of missing early points that are possible on the board for Toa Samoa. 5 minutes 30 through. Taking the deep breath for Stephen Crichton, and he does get that one over. So the score's going to be 6-0 in favour of Samoa. Great start to the contest. Like I mentioned, just that little mistake from Tonga in defence, having that slip, opening up the gap, and then from there, you'd have to say as well, with that little bit of obstruction down the other end from Tonga, with Kalamatangi running behind his other forward, it did mean that they were able to slowly break their way down the field for Samoa, and it was a great run from Sua. Looked like he was moving in fast motion, but it was the slow motion replay for that man, got plenty of pace. And even if that defender was standing there trying to tackle him, I don't know whether he would have been able to stop him. Kicked off long to Jerome Luai. Now Junior Paulo's going to hit it up at the line, run straight at Kalamatangi and also Will Penasini. Now 20 metres out from their line here. Samoa once again crashing themselves at the line. It will be Taylor May. To the second tackle here for Samoa. But like I mentioned, getting that early try on the board, that will certainly help them build momentum and give them confidence heading into the later stages of the game. Definitely, because fatigue in the second half is going to be well and truly setting in for both of these sides. When you've got this much size and muscle, it's extremely hard not to slow down a little bit when you are playing a full 80 minutes. And some of these players will have to. That was a bit scrappy between the two players. I want to say that was Katoa who got himself caught on the Samoan. A big run from Joseph Suali'i, and the penalty goes against Suali'i there. I believe it's actually going to be a penalty in favour of Tonga, is it? No, in fact, it is going to be the Suali'i scrum. Is it? What is the ref deciding here? It looks like Suali'i's not going to be giving up the ball. So he runs it hard. Oh, leading with the knee there, Suali'i. So it is going to be the penalty for Tonga. And he is actually on report as well for Suali'i. Now, that is a massive one, because if he ends up with a suspension here, that could be absolutely huge for how Samoa go if they do manage to get through this matchup. Yeah, Suali'i is the penalty for trying to lead with the knee into Kaufusi, who probably didn't appreciate getting kneed in the head, because I don't know many people who do like getting kneed in the head now that I think about it. Now, Tonga sitting only 35 metres out, Kaufusi in a good position on the field. It seemed like he has recovered from that head knock he took just before. For Noah Blake, offloads it across now. So driving forward very nicely. Foraweka gets just a little bit closer. Now going off to the left-hand side. Tonga now with the overlap on the outside. It's a 2-on-1, the wide ball. And it's scored there beautifully by Daniel Tupou. He fires back, and this is back-to-back stuff, end-to-end from these two Pacific Nations sides. 7.5 minutes through, Daniel Tupou scores it for the Tongans. And that is the way you fire back from having a try scored against you. You score one yourself. The 6th try now for Daniel Tupou throughout this Rugby League World Cup, which is massive, because when you consider the fact that Tonga have only played 3 games up till this point, it means he's scoring about 1.5 per fixture. But they had the 2-on-1 on the outside. Brian To'o, he was off his wing. He did have to try and cover the man on the inside. Left the gap for Tonga to be able to go with the skip pass, and it was beautifully done. Out to Daniel Tupou, took it with one hand, managed to slide in for the try. The in-goal areas are not very good, very big, I should say. So you got to make sure you're not sliding too quickly, or else you could end up getting cleaned up by a barricade. And Daniel Tupou springs back to his feet, extremely happy with that one. And Tonga now find themselves sitting 4 points to 6 in this matchup. We're only 8 minutes in, and both sides have already shown what they can do when they've got the ball in hand. And also both sides showing a little bit of ill discipline, because we have seen that penalty against the Samoans that then led to the Tongan try. We saw the penalty against Tonga that led to the Samoan try. So I think discipline is definitely a word to look out for in this first half and the second of this fixture. But now it's going to be a tough kick from the touchline almost for Isaiah Katoa. He has been striking them well throughout this Rugby League World Cup, so I wouldn't think this game would be any different for the youngster. And make sure we're drinking plenty of water. We have done a lot of live streams throughout the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We have done Rugby Union. We've done Rugby League. Saw that game last night between New Zealand and also Fiji. That was a close one going down to the wire. Very similar maybe to what we will see for this game. It's a good striker. The ball, has it got the distance? It had the distance, just not the accuracy. Away to the left, and the score will remain now 4 points for Tonga and 6 for Toa Samoa. This is a great pass. And behind there, the skip pass from Hopewadi, who ended up joining the line. It is great to see him back in the Tongan kit, and he is already showing his worth and experience in that back line to help the Tongans towards their first try in the fixture. It will now be Toa Samoa kicking off this one relatively long. There's plenty of distance on it. Joseph Suali'i taken nicely by Lolo here. Gives it off to Whanua Blake, who will once again crash at Junior Paulo. I think those two are going to be running at each other every single minute of the game that they get. It looks like they had a little bit of a push and a shove afterwards as well. We're 30 metres out from their line now. Tonga, 10 minutes has passed in this contest, already an eighth of the way through. Big run from Kalfusi, but good shot on him by Levi. Able to stop him, and also Anthony Milford getting involved in that one too. Not the biggest players on the field for Toa Samoa, but certainly have plenty of heart, Junior. Or in fact, sorry, it was Jason Taumalolo hit the ball at the line. 6 again, little bit of mistake from Samoa, and now it does mean that it will be Tonga who keep the momentum flowing. Now Whanua Blake, it's almost going to be another 6 again call, but 40 metres out from the line. Another good carry forward from Lolo here. Just trying to get those legs driving for the Tongans. Going off now to the side. It will be Havili. Nice bit of draw and pass, almost looking like a similar move to how they scored the try, although Hapawade has been wrestled down by Stephen Crichton. Now, Tonga looking off to the right-hand side. They are only up to the 4th tackle currently, so still another one. Get them a little bit closer towards that 20-metre line. Now off to the side. Jason Taumalolo tries to step through. Junior Polo takes him down around the ankles. And now 5th and final, 41 metres gain there. It's going to be kicked away. Going out wide. Daniel Tupou glides. He takes it, but he's dropped the ball. And it was almost another try for the Tongans. I would have almost backed him to be able to land and score it, but just putting that ball down for Daniel Tupou. To'o glided through the air, but wasn't able to get it. And then Stephen Crichton also helped try and push Daniel Tupou towards the touchline, and we now see that the rain is falling. That's going to affect this game drastically. These two sides love playing when the ball is dry, and the ball's going to be anything but dry once the rain does continue to pour for a little bit of time. Samoa now have themselves the ball 12 minutes in, and it was Lafai who had the carry there. Now going off to the side, Joseph Suali'i, in fact it was. 20 metres out from their own line here, Samoa. They're going to have to make a few more metres before the end of the set. And Brian To'o getting involved. That's actually his first run of the day, I believe. Normally he does like to search for the ball right next to the breakdown and then heads out onto his wing waiting for the chance to score the try. There'll be a big tackle there from Kalamatangi. Wrestles Samoan forward down. Up to the 4th tackle now. And almost up to the halfway line. In fact, they're going for the kick him high, looking for the 40-20. It's going to be bouncing up nicely and taking him on by Hopawade, who now tries to make his way through. Kalfusi able to shut him down relatively quickly. And Tonga taken down 30 metres out from their line. Another attack and play from Daniel Tupou. He has made a lot of metres and already scored that try for the Tongans in the earlier stages of the fixture. 13 minutes in. Going off to the left-hand side now. Looks like big shot. Kalfusi's head got rocked backwards. And he is also heading backwards now. But he's found the offload. And now it's going to be a good attack and run from Mosisi Suli. Second tackle already for Tonga. Wide cutout pass, but the winger was not there. I don't know where Daniel Tupou was supposed to be. Or if he was supposed to be out on that wing. But he was certainly not where that pass ended up going from Hopawade. Mistake from the Tongans. And now Samoa will have themselves another opportunity with ball in hand. But yeah, it was a skip pass. Daniel Tupou, he was about 20 metres at the back. He was going, what was I supposed to do with that one, Opawari? I guess that's the thing. With him missing 7 weeks, there's always going to be that little tiny bit of rust. Not a lot, I wouldn't think, at international level. He normally seems to slot back in pretty well. That is that experience factor that he has got. But yeah, probably just getting to know the plays again throughout the week, making sure he knows exactly where his players are going to be running for each of their sets. Now, Levi goes off to Milford. Trying to go over the top. It was Sua, the lone try scorer so far in this match for Toa Samoa. That was a good tackle made by Suli. Now up to the halfway line. Junior Paolo, Jerome Luai gives it off on the inside. It seems like he's starting to find a little bit more of his feet in this match, but it might have been a knock on. No, in fact, it's play on. It's gone backwards as the goal from the referee. So Royce Hunt moves up a little bit further, and it's another set restart. So that is currently 1-1 for these two sides, giving away one of them each. Kalfusi hit up the 30 metres out from the line. Tonga coach looking frustrated there with giving away the extra set. Suali'i trying to break through up to 30 metres out from the line. You're milking is the comment from the referee there. He was not falling for Suali'i's tricks. Now a nice run from Royce Hunt. Moves to now 10 metres out from the Tongan line. Taumalolo has to make the tackle alongside Kalamatangi there. Now going off to the left-hand side. Close now for Samoa. Once again, great defence from Tonga. Neither of these defences are really going to let the opposition run too easily through. Luai goes off to the right-hand side. Now the spin from Junior Paulo. Almost dropped. It's going to be the last tackle now in favour of the Samoans. They have made 49 metres. Luai with the little grubber. It's going to be cleaned up well by Tonga. And Hopewadi manages to just escape the area. Little kick in behind from Jerome Luai. Hopewadi almost got cleaned up with that one. And now there's a big mistake coming from Tonga. I believe it was the pass out wide that didn't quite work the way that they wanted it to. It was a big mistake there indeed. Brian To'o, yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I'm not too sure why Daniel Tupou decided that he wanted to offload that one, but now it is going to be the goal line dropout. Tonga returning fire back down to Samoa. This will be an interesting one because they've got a set in a very good position on the field now. With the take of the ball, Lola here decides to go with the low rolling one, but Samoa get it nicely. Samoa in there as well. Sees Quist Brown and go Tonga a little bit earlier on from Sione. It seems to be a relatively even split. And I think that is the way it's going to be throughout this whole matchup. No one really knows which side is going to be able to play the better rugby league until we get to about maybe the 70th minute where we start to see a bit more structure. Oh, not too happy there, Royce Hunt. He was going to go after Kalfusi. Now Samoa sitting only 12 metres out from the line. And up to their third tackle. Now around the side, Levi tries to snipe. Gives it off on the inside. Once again, to another one of the big forwards. It was Sua, the man who did actually score the first try. He's looking to get the second just 1 metre short. It's up to the fourth tackle. It's looking like a few tired bodies out there for the Tongan defence. And now Luai doesn't quite get the pass away that it was after. He steps himself, Jerome Luai. And he's gone through. They mentioned it before they match. They said if Jerome Luai is playing well, Samoa will win. If he's not playing well when he's shut down, then Tonga have a real chance. But Luai goes through, piercing the gap. To be honest, they had him covered, but then they just let him off the hook. And then he went straight through. Jerome Luai gets his second try in the Rugby League World Cup now. And that is going to make the score now 17 minutes in. 10 points to Samoa and 4 to the Tongans. But they are just showing that little error that we saw early on from Tonga. And it actually has been the case every single time. We see an error from one side, then the try from the other. And it's going to be the case of pretty much who gives away the least penalties and who gives away the least amount of handling errors will win this matchup, I would say, with the way that the momentum has been shifting. But Jerome Luai manages to side in for that try. It's certainly slippery in the in-goal areas. Missed tackle there from Will Pinasini. Then from there, Kalamatangi just didn't quite have the acceleration to be able to follow Luai as he drifted inwards. And he does score it in between the posts. Now the nice easy kick for Stephen Crichton as well in the process. But currently 18 minutes in, the rain is still slowly falling down at the English Stadium. Now, I hope the rain doesn't affect the semi-final, but I believe it will, unfortunately, just because we have seen so many games involving rain during this English Rugby League World Cup. I will mention, already confirmed in the semi-finals, New Zealand, they will be playing up against the Australians. Samoa, if they win this game, they will have their rematch up against the English, or Tonga may get to face the English for the first time in this Rugby League World Cup. That one has gone over, so now the score 12 points to Toa Samoa, 4 for the Tongans. And also, hey bro, nice call. Cheers. Says Nick, so welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Must be late night in Australia, if I'm not wrong. And who is your pick for Australia versus New Zealand, Nick? Do let me know. That game, I think it's going to be a very entertaining one when it does take place next week. I just hope it doesn't overlap with too much of the International Rugby Union side of things as well. But Luai scoring the second try of the match. Big bump off there. Like they're saying, a rib-shattering collision between them. But Samoa, they have now got themselves possession. It will be Levi goes back across. Suali'i going to be looking for the ball here around the side of the breakdown pass. He is lurking, waiting for it. But instead, Levi decides to go himself, tackled by Lola here. Does manage to take him down 19 minutes into this contest at the moment. And the Samoans, you'd have to say they've had just a little bit more momentum early on. And also we have there Samoa, Aotearoa, says Quist. And also we have there the Kiwis, bro, says Nick Priest. And it's going to be interesting. They'll certainly want to play better than they did in their game up against Fiji. They just seem to be a little bit flat in that contest. But yeah, the Aussies are certainly going to come for that game. The Anzac Day Test match repeated for the Rugby League World Cup semi-final. Now Samoa, fifth and final. They made 67 metres in the process. Jerome Luai gets it high up in the sky, and Tonga taken nicely. That time, Hopewadi been able to clean it up. is a name that we haven't been saying up till this stage in the Rugby League World Cup. He has only just recently come back from his injury, also bringing in some extra experience, having Havili at number 9. Now, Hopewade, another carry, so he's certainly testing out his injury, I guess you could say, by having so many early plays in this matchup. The question of whether or not they decide to sub him at some point soon or during the second half is still yet to be answered. We've seen 3 errors from Tonga compared to the 0 of Samoa, and I think the best way of looking at that is pretty much errors have been costing points. Oh, now Lolo here, I think he was just a little bit too easily letting that ball go out of his hands. They might go back and have a look at that one, maybe in a captain's challenge, but for now it's going to be Samoa who have got themselves the ball back. And Brian To'o does nicely. So, yeah, they're trying to say that maybe it was a 2-man strip for Lolo here. If they want to go upstairs for the captain's challenge, they will actually have to wait till the end of this play, I should say. And yeah, bro, rooms can be sus, or the roos can be sussed by the Poms. Will be the ones that, but the Poms will be the ones to beat in Australia 60-4. Says Quist there. Now Levi going off to the side. Milford tried to kick him behind. Interesting tactic. And now Tamalolo has been able to pick it up and Tonga get the ball back. I mentioned it. Mistakes are going to be the thing that decides this Rugby League World Cup perhaps. And so far, both sides have been making plenty of them throughout this matchup. And you'd have to say it's also down to that extra pressure. Wow, that's a big run from Kalamatangi. He's managed to get it off backwards. So Lolo here will now attack 40 meters out from the Samoan line. And Tonga have got themselves a nice attacking opportunity here once again. Now looking to go off to the left-hand side here for the Tongans for Nua Blake. Still continuing to work hard throughout this first half. Fatigue, I'm still saying that word as well because it's certainly going to be a tough one for both of these sides to keep this tempo because it has been extremely quick. But it's a great tester because at the end of the day, England are certainly going to test that tempo, push the pace in their game in the semi-final. Another big run from Jason Tamalolo. Now fifth and final for the Tongans. 48 meters gained off that set, and they will be going off to the right-hand side. Now looking for some extra height on that one, waiting for it to come down. Katoa tries to slap it back. It was a little knock on, though, and I believe it will now be Samoa's ball in the scrum. It's going to be, in fact, the turnover ball from 10 meters out from the line. It was up for Katoa, but he just wasn't able to swat it back. That it was Sione Katoa, I should mention. Now they've actually lifted Suali'i backwards. In fact, it was Taylor May who got carried back just a little bit further. Samoa find themselves 20 meters out from their own line. Luai goes off to the right-hand side to Brian Toa. The Panthers linking up now after Josh Papali'i recently coming on the field as the first interchange player for the Samoans. I'd say more than likely that would have been for Junior Polo as well. Now off to the left-hand side, another big crash ball from the Samoans there. Nice run from Kalfusi. Now going off to the right, up to the fourth tackle. Or in fact, it was actually Royce Hunt who actually went off the field for Josh Papali'i. Now Samoa up to the fourth, goes out to Brian To'o. Bit of space there, ended up slipping over, but now he's been able to break the line. And back up to his feet, Jason Tamalolo missing the tackle. That is something that really happens. And now Samoa have got the front football. Unfortunately, that pass needed to be made, but instead hanging on to it in the midfield. Looks for the offload. I think they are going to say that held was called. A little bit of luck there for Anthony Milford. He almost gave it straight away. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was actually Tamalolo who's down, but it is going to be Saliva Havili who has stayed down for a bit longer, I believe. Where was he? Oh, no, I think he's just really taken a knee on the side of the head. He's tried to tackle without using his arms in a way. He's kind of gone like this and just taken the knock straight to almost the temple. We're going to see it in this replay here. Brian To'o, though, he slipped. And then it was another slip there for Havili. Yeah, just hit on the wrong side. Almost knocked himself out. He kind of did the thing, which is normally when you can tell that someone needs an HIA. He straightened his arms completely while he was lying on the ground. Havili so far, he's made 16 tackles, 100% success rate, but now he's going to have to make sure that he gets the next test right, which is the HIA, or else he won't be able to return in this game. So it seems like the coach is certainly shouting his demands down the microphone. Samoa will have this ball, though, for the fifth and final. They are sitting 54 meters gained off that set. Back into the pocket. Jerome Luai puts it extremely high, looking for the torpedo kick. Suali'i chasing after it. Daniel Tupou, the mistake from Tonga once again. Kaufusi picks it up, and they are only going to be a few meters out from the line now for Samoa. Another mistake from Tonga could lead to another try for the Samoans. Now Josh Papali'i tries to go through, driving the legs 2 meters short. Brilliant work from Felici Kaufusi there to drive him down. Now, Levi looked like for a second he was going to consider going himself. The pass, mistake from Samoa. I believe they said that it's going to be slapped down, and there's another penalty now. Right. The penalty, I believe, has gone in favor of the Samoans. They're only going to be 10 meters out from the line when they do have this penalty. So a really good attacking opportunity for Toa Samoa to get themselves a possible another few points on the board, but that one was just swirling in the wind from Jerome Luai. It was a brilliant kick downfield, and the mistake in behind did lead. Oh, Crichton kicks that ball into touch. I assume that was a random ball that they did have. At the moment, the error count, 7 errors from Tonga, 0 from Samoa. They do say catches win matches. That's normally in cricket, but it applies in this game of rugby league as well. Now, Josh Papali'i taking the first tackle of the set. Now Luai, short ball, little wrap around from Tim Lathai, close to the line, but just tackled and driven backwards a few extra meters as well. Tonga don't want to give that ball up. He almost had that one, Will Pinasini, in the one-on-one tackle. Now Luai gives it off Milford, goes to Junior Paulo, now finding his offload as well. Kaufusi keeps it alive. Good cut up the middle from Milford. Almost able to go through, and now Samoa certainly dangerous. Levi gets only a meter short of the line as well. It's going to be a set restart. Right, we've seen this a couple times in the Rugby League World Cup, and that's normally when we see a handling error. So this is not going to be the case here, though. Suali'i decided against reaching out for it. That was absolutely brilliantly done by the Tonga defence, but how long can they hold out? It's a handling error. Kaufusi drops it. I mentioned it, saying that normally you do see the handling error after the set restart, and that's exactly what we've seen. Tonga know how well they have done in that one moment. And Lyle was at Tonga second evening half, says Lyle there. So I guess the question for you, Lyle, who is the player to watch out for in this Tongan lineup? Do you feel it's Jason Taumalolo? Could it be Will Hopewade, who's now back in the sides? Or is it another player in that starting lineup that you think will be able to turn this game around? Or even off the interchange, I think David Fafita is going to have a huge impact when he makes his way out there, muscling up with Junior Paulo, Josh Papali'i, Royce Hunt, all those big men and the Samoan side. Will Penasini hits the ball up 27 minutes through at the moment in this contest. Going to be the first tackle. Oh, that's a good shot on the jaw, and I think Katoa is really feeling that one, Sione Katoa. It's like he was holding his head for half a second. Now Kaufusi driven backwards. It looks like Papali'i helping out with that one as well. Kaufusi manages to just stay on his feet. Now Tonga going off to the right-hand side. Another great carry forward there. Now to the right. Tongans up to their fourth tackle. Now going for the 40-20. It's a decent attempt as well, although it's going to be just a little bit too straight. And Joseph Suali'i is able to clean it up at the back and now looking to attack. Great low tackle made from Kalamatangi there. Now 28 minutes in. Luai goes across. It's another good attacking run. We've seen the first change for the Tongans now for Noah Blake off the field, and that was for Taukiaho. Has now made his way out there. Lafai driven backwards, and Taukiaho already makes the tackle, although the offload found from Lafai to Brian To'o. Now gets themselves back out towards the halfway line. Kaufusi also taken off the field for Samoa. That was for Tapa'u, who is now having his first run of the contest. Tapa'u, I think I really butchered his name for a second there. Now short ball. Sua gets up to the 30-meter line. Kaufusi has been possibly tripped by Junior Paulo. Now it's going to be Jerome Luai. Puts the kick up high once again. The last time that they did that, it worked not too badly. The ball bounces. You can't afford to do that. Now Josh Papali'i puts the grubber in behind. Great take there from Tonga to just survive again. Narrow little margins here. And a bounce of the ball going the wrong way. Could have been another Samoan try, but the Tongans, they do not want to give up in this game. They know they're still in it. They need a try before the end of this first half, though. Around this side, penalty goes the way of Tonga, so that will get them down the field by another 20 to 30 metres, but brilliant work in behind. I mean, who would have expected for Josh Papali'i to be the man who goes for the grubber in behind? Taylor May almost able to pick it up, but I believe it was Sione Katoa who was able to stop that one from really progressing for the Samoans. Whew. Close first half. That is certainly for sure. Currently, Samoa, they have got the advantage, but only because of the amount of handling errors that we have seen from Tonga. Now, going back across to the left-hand side, Tonga, they haven't quite been making as many meters as the Samoans in this first half either, but that's a nice run from Taukiaho, his first of the day. Now going to be fired back across. Sonny Luke goes short side, inside ball, off into the hands of Suli. So we have seen a couple changes for Tonga and a couple changes for Samoa. Off the interchange, now Jason Tamalolo gets the legs driving. He's always dangerous when he gets that open play. He wants 6 again, and I think he's got it. Yes, he does. And now Tonga, this is their best attacking chance almost since about the 10th minute of the game. Back across. Lolo here now going across the Hopaware. Lafai makes the tackle. No, England versus Argentina, says Gavin. Not for this one. We were initially going to be doing both of them on the channel, but my PC has been crashing quite a bit. We were going to have a host for England versus Argentina, but yeah, it has been crashing quite often for us. As of late now, big run forward. Milford has made another brilliant tackle there for Samoa. It looks like they're holding him down as well now. Now, up to the third, 5 meters out from the line. Now, little grubber in behind from Tonga, slapped back by Suali'i. He said, no, thank you. I am more than happy to watch that ball go into touch, but I can give you a score update for that game between England and Argentina, as it is currently taking place. I believe it will be half time in that fixture more than likely. And Samoa 100, Tonga 4, says Alasa there. It is very optimistic. At the end of the day, we've seen some pretty high scoring games throughout this Rugby League World Cup, although I don't know whether they've got enough time left to be able to quite do that. So England are currently winning that game 16 points to 12 at the moment between England and Argentina. It's a goal line dropout. Now Tonga will hit it up at the line again with Taukiaho. Currently 8.5 minutes through till we get to halftime. Now another big run. It will be Murdoch Masila. He's certainly going to be one who can do a lot of damage in this first half. And anytime he makes his way off the interchange bench as well. Now looking for the pass across is going to be Katoa, almost hurdling that defender, but Stephen Crichton just able to get enough of an ankle tap to be able to stop it. 32 minutes in to the game. Jason Tamalolo takes it above his head, tries to get the leg drive going, but it was a great tackle made by Tapau once again. Up to fourth. That was a forward pass, but it's going to be play on just for now. Junior Paulo off the field. That is for Kelma Tuolangi as the other sub that has been made by the Samoans. Little grubber in behind. Tonga take it, and Tonga score. It's slammed down, but they will be checking this one. But more than likely, the Tongans, yes, it is the try. And they are now back into the contest. That will make the score Tonga 8 and Samoa 12. With the kick to come straight out in front of the post. Should be easy enough. In fact, should be meat and drink for the Tongan kicker here. But Taukiaho, he's only come off the field or come onto the field relatively recently as one of the interchange players. Grubber in behind. He was waiting for it. He knew it was coming. And Sonny Luke also working hard. Another player from the interchange. So it just shows that Tonga's super subs are certainly just that super in the early stages of this quarter final. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here. We have got the matches next week taking place of the semi-finals. One side of the draw, New Zealand versus Australia. The other side of the draw, it is going to be England versus the winner of this contest. And currently, I don't know who that's going to be. They just keep on making it just that little bit closer each and every time these two Pacific Island sides clash. And go Tonga, says Benjamin, and there as well. And yeah, they've just been able to get themselves to try right at the end of the first half. The perfect time to do so. And come on, Ahalmoz, says Aimbot, and there as well. Right, this kick should be nice and easy for Isaiah Katoa. He's still taking his time, though. Wants to make sure it goes over. The last thing you want is to miss a nice, simple one out in front of the post. And also it gives his teammates a little bit of a chance to catch their breath, slow down the breathing, make sure you are well and truly calm for another 6 minutes of hard-hitting action for the rest of the first half. Katoa, this one has gone over. He did actually use up probably that full minute that he was allowed for being able to go for that kick. Let's go over, though, and that will make the score 10 points to Tonga and 12 for Samoa. So, yeah, I do believe that that was completely strategic to give his forwards a chance to have a bit of a breath and a bit of a rest as well. I think that was the only reason that he would have wanted to take so long. Definitely because Tonga still find themselves down by 2 at this stage of the contest. Now 34 minutes in, going to be kicked off by the Samoans. And Tonga will be receiving the ball once again. Now, the first initial kickoff of the game was a Samoa kickoff, which does mean Tonga will be kicking off the second 40 of the contest. Joseph Suali'i off the tee, kicks it downfield. A swirling, awkward one. It's going to be nicely taken by Pinasini, though, so not quite the result I don't think that Samoa were after for that slightly shorter kickoff. Now, Lola here goes across to the left-hand side, the flowing mullet of Kalamatangi, making his way up to almost the 30-meter line here for the Tongans. Now back across again. Big shot from Taukei'aho. He is now doing almost a headstand, but a break dancing from Taukei'aho accidentally. Now big bump off. Got his head in the wrong place there, but luckily he is going to be all right. But Jaden Sua could have been sleeping if he did catch a knee. Oh, the big Tongan forwards. Big run from Taumalolo. Looks like he has rocked him a little bit there for Sau, and it seems like now the Samoans are having to really defend hard. Now the kick has gone in behind Suali'i, able to clean it up for Toa Samoa, 10 metres out from their own line with 5 minutes left on the clock. Back across, good run from Taylor May, not the biggest player out there on the park, but he has decided that he needs to go searching for the ball. Same with Brian Toa, and that will be the set restart now in favour of Toa Samoa. Luai gives it off now. They are going to continue to make those extra few metres each and every carry. I believe it was Tim Lafai that time. Yes, it was. Now going off to the short side. Milford gives it off nicely for Samoa. And Sua continues to march 40 metres out from the Tongan line up to their third tackle now. Once again, another big shot. That was Kalma Tuolangi. Made those couple extra. And now it's going to be fifth and final, is it? No, Papali'i now crashing forward. Finding the offload there. Beautifully done from Josh Papali'i, the big man. And now Sua, they are still up to fourth. So now this will be fifth and final for the Samoans. 63 metres gained. They have had quite a few of those nice sets. That's gone straight through the hands. It's going to be nicely taken now an offload. Josh Papali'i gives it off to Jerome Luai. Hands just not working out here for the Samoans. And it's cleaned up by Kalamatangi. That was twice in a row that we saw the drop ball while they were trying to set up their fifth set. That was a very late shot from Josh Papali'i there on Will Pinasini. The first drop ball was actually the number 11 there, Ligi Sal, maybe still recovering from that massive shot that he took a bit earlier on. He did actually put up his hand as if to say to the bench, I am okay. But the question is, was he actually okay or was he just saying so? 50 metres now from the Samoan line. The Tongans will be attacking to the right-hand side here. Once again, another big crash up at the line. Samoa actually luring in about 4 defenders into that tackle, just trying to make sure that they do stop Taukei'aho from gaining metres. Big shot there. Murdoch Masilla has gone on top of one of the Samoan players who looks like he is a little bit rattled. Now going short side, Luke. Quick hands there. Kalamatangi lined up by Taylor May. And that is going to be an absolutely huge shot. It's a handover as well, but boy, did he come in with some steam. Oh, that's high. They might have to have another look at that one. Oh, or was it high? No, I think he just caught him right on the collarbone. Jeez. It's a massive shot from Taylor May, South Africa all day, every day. Or Samoa every day, says Joseph there. Now 2 minutes left in the half. Samoa certainly still bringing that physicality. Now Brian To'o marches forward a few extra metres for the Samoans here, but that was a shot and a half. That's the biggest shot we're going to see of the day, I think, and it was from Taylor May, one of the smallest players on one of the biggest, Kalamatangi. Now, Milford moves forward just a bit further. Taukei'aho makes the tackle on him, moving up to fourth now. And luckily, we haven't seen too many injuries throughout this game. I believe the only one that we've seen was an HIA. Now, Papali'i not able to find the offload there like he would have liked. He wants to get up to his feet. That was almost 6 again. Now Luai, still fifth and final. Great flat pass. Little offload out the back. Did I just hear the referee blow the whistle for forward? Yes, it was. The referee says no try. Samoa almost in for the corner. It was Taylor May who got close. Hey, what about England versus Argy Bargies? Says Max Power currently in that game, halftime, 16 points to 12 in favour of the English. So we are going to be keeping you updated with what is happening in that game. We've seen a lot of penalties and also the one try from Kokonasiga for the English. Other than that, though, every other one has been the three-pointers. And let's go Tonga, says K and SM. And Unlucky Who says, nay, he got extremely close to the line there, but just that four pass, a little mistake now, 50 seconds left, and Tonga will still try and drive all the way up to the try line, even though they have to travel 75 metres to be able to do so. Taukei'aho once again hits it into the line and was a tackle by Tapau. Now back across the right-hand side, moving up to the halfway line now for Tonga. 30 seconds still left on the clock, so no matter what, they're going to have to give this ball back to Samoa at some point. And it looks like they're going to do it one phase early, looking for the touchline, doesn't quite find it. Joseph Suali'i is back and will be covering that one, trying to break through. And it's a beautiful tackle made by Pinasini. 10 seconds left. They don't want to give away a penalty for holding him down. Luai now goes across. Looks like they're willing to just sacrifice that tackle there, Taylor May. And now one more phase left, or was it? No, the referee says it's going to be halftime, and the score 12 points to 10 in favour of the Samoans. That is a pretty close first half, and I think that was roughly what a lot of people were expecting. A game split by a very thin margin. And now Samoa, they will still go in with the 2-point advantage, but Tonga are right in this contest. We have seen some great carries, some big hits, and some brilliance from individuals. I'm thinking of Jerome Luai with the way he was able to score that try. Also, earlier on in the contest, we did see Tonga get themselves a great try. And a little bit of a loose ball. They are just showing the highlights. Jerome Luai, the way that he stepped through was absolutely brilliant, scoring that second try of the match for Samoa, although we did see the first try of the match as well scored, and that was actually by Jaden Sewer, who broke through the middle of the field, got the inside ball, and there was just no one back there to defend as the player from Tonga had slipped over. It was the last thing that they would have been wanting. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, what you thought of that first half, who you feel has momentum heading into the second 40 now. For me, I would say it's still Samoa. We've seen too many handling errors from the Tongans. I believe about 8-1 at the moment is the stat for that one. So they certainly need less handling errors in the second for the Tongans. But if they are able to do that, they certainly have the potential of going on and getting themselves a possible victory. The interchange players, though, for Tonga have been a lot better. Taukei'aho scoring the try. Sonny Luke has been good. We've hardly seen David Fafita. I don't even think he has made his way onto the field, I should say, rather than off. And Murdoch Masilla as the last man for the interchange. And also, bro, best call so far. Nice, well done with the names. Fluid, bro, keep it up. There's Nick. Do appreciate that a lot, mate. And yeah, the thing is, we have done quite a bit of the Samoan 7, so I think that's helped with some of the Samoan pronunciation. We also did the Pacific Nations Cup last year, which did involve Samoa, Tonga, Australia A, and Fiji. So we've been studying the Pacific Island names for quite some time, and now luckily in this game they are rolling off the tongue the way that we need them to. Yeah, big second half just around the corner. Both of these sides want a spot up against England in that semi-final. Actually looking through at the time that game is going to be taking place. Anyone wondering about Georgia versus Uruguay as well? It is currently Georgia sitting at 31 points to 13 up over the Uruguayans. But the way that this Rugby League World Cup is sitting, there's so much sport on at the moment. I had to scroll down like a full page of stuff to be able to see the Rugby League World Cup. But the first game, it is going to be 8:45 a.m. Australia versus New Zealand. That will be on the Saturday morning. Then England versus Tonga. Also, Samoa will actually be at 3:30 a.m. in New Zealand. That will be on the Sunday morning. Tonga to win as well when they bring the errors down, says Daniela. So yeah, soon as they have less errors out there on the field, I think Tonga will start to find themselves quite a bit of momentum. For Samoa, we had to look through at what they have got to do better in the second half. I would say it's more just the case of the backline really linking up well, because we've seen some nice plays, but it's normally down to the individual brilliance from the Samoan backs that has led to their opportunities. If they can get that crisp backline going, a couple more offloads perhaps. I think Josh Papali'i, of all players, was actually bringing that more for the Samoans. And also we have got the AMT baby, says Rico, and the chat as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got plenty more coming up in the future for the Rugby League World Cup. Like I mentioned, New Zealand versus Australia on Saturday morning On Sunday will be England versus Tonga or Samoa, depending on who gets themselves the win in this game. Go the Manu Samoa, says Izzy Gal there, and MMT with the Tongan flags as well from Linny. Yeah, do let me know your end score predictions, ladies and gentlemen. I believe I went Tonga by 6 was my prediction. The similar scoreline to what they actually had in their game up against Papua New Guinea in their first group stage match. They were able to get themselves the win, 24 points to 18, as you can see there. Also, Tonga in their second game, 32 points to 6, and then 92 points to 10. That was a massive game for the Tongans. And the question was going to be, were they going to be able to continue that momentum in this game up against the Samoans? The answer was probably always going to be no, though, because Samoa were always going to be a little bit tougher than what the Cook Islands were in their group stage match. For anyone who doesn't know about Samoa's path to the quarterfinals, they did lose their first game up against England, 60 points to 6, which is why they're so motivated to get back to that quarterfinal or the semi-final finally, or semi-final. I'm missing the next word. Semi-final, hopefully, I think was the word I was going to be going for, so that they can have their rematch up against the English in their next 2 games, though, keeping the opposition to only the 4 points, scoring 72 up against the Greece, and also scoring 62 up against the French as well. So this is the way that the 2 tables ended up finishing. Anyone who doesn't know, the halftime score, 12 points to Samoa, 10 to Tonga, and we are only about 5 minutes away from the second half getting back underway in this exciting quarterfinal. But as you can see there, the England points differential of plus 168. They had a massive game up against Papua New Guinea. Anyone who faces England from now on will find themselves really having to try and score points in a big hurry, because if you don't, England will be able to slowly and methodically just continue to get the 6 after 6 after 6. But Samoa, they have shown already in their group stage they can score a lot of points in a game if they need to. Tonga, we have also seen that in their last game up against the Cook Islands. I think both of these sides would be very well matched playing up against the English, but I cannot wait to see who does manage to get the job done. Hey, guys, is this a coincidence? In Toa Samoa, there's a guy named Kelma Tuolangi. Is he related to Tuolangi brothers in rugby union? It's a good question. Kelma Tuolangi, we'll have a look. Tuolangi. Has he got any bros? We will go. Oh, okay. Family's the first thing that gets searched, so it might be quite a common one. How many Tuolangi brothers are there? There are 7. Are they all? Is he a part of the Tuolangi? He might be a part of the Tuolangi family. He might be one of the 7 brothers. It isn't actually going to tell me, though. Just says that there are 7 Tuolangi brothers, and it's going, he might be one. And Samoa Toa will win the cup, says Dion. And Toa Samoa, says Steph. And hard to share your feed, bro. Have a few mates living remote, or had to share your feed, bro. Have a few mates living remote. So I hugely appreciate that, Nick. And at the moment, we have got plenty planned for the rugby union side of things in the future. Also, the rugby league. We want to cover more of the NRL on the channel. We didn't really get to do too many of the games last year, as they did overlap with Super Rugby Pacific. But I want to try and balance it out so that the games that don't overlap with Super Rugby Pacific, we are able to cover more on the channel. Probably Cousins. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. Normally, like, he does look like a Tuolangi, I guess is the best way of describing it. He does have that very similar build and also a similar face to a few of the other Tuolangi brothers. So if he's not connected by, I guess, exact relation, he's probably going to be relatively close. And I'll show you there. No one wants to see you commentating, says Hayes in there. Although Velma may want to, because she has just donated $2. Hayes in there. Thank you very much, Velma. Hugely appreciate it. Well, they won, probably Cousins. And best try of the first half. I would say the first try of the first half for me, I'd say Jerome Luais. Or actually, no, there was a couple other good ones, though. Skip pass from Hopewadi out to Daniel Tupou was pretty good. I'll go Luai hesitantly, though, because there were a couple other very decent tries. That little grubber one at the end for Tonga, I don't think was quite to the same level. They're actually showing the first try here. It was a great inside ball, but then the slip from the Tongan defender kind of ruined the aesthetic of it, I guess you could say. And Toa Samoa, says Sam, and there as well. But they are just showing the tackles that have been made by Tonga when they've only been a couple minutes out from their line. There have been probably 2 or 3 try savers so far throughout this match, whether it is the big hit that has knocked the ball free, whether it is just getting that arm tucked in so that he isn't able to reach out. We have seen a rate both teams' performance I would give Tonga about a 4 out of 10. And that sounds very harsh with the fact they are sitting 4 points or 10 points to 12. But the reason I give them a 4 is because 8 handling errors in a first half of rugby league is just way too many. Second half, they certainly have the potential of being able to have a lot better half. And I hope they do. They had good, or they, you know what, 4 might be harsh. I'll give them a 5.5 because they still had some great attacking plays throughout their Takiaho coming off the interchange. Looked very dangerous. Same with Luke, who was playing a little bit of halfback. But yeah, I would give them a 5.5 for Samoa. I would probably give them about a 6, just a little bit better than Tonga in that first half with the way they were playing, but still a lot to be desired in the second half if they do want to secure their spot in the Rugby World Cup semi-final, because we've got to remember, whoever wins this plays England, and they need to be playing well, because or else then England will try and do exactly what they did to Papua New Guinea, and that is put a whole heap of points on in a hurry and really make it a tough fight out there on the park. And also who's going to score the next try? Still waiting for Suoli'i. Says Ed, you know what? If we keep Suoli'i for yourself, just to be nice, I'm going to keep my try-scoring prediction. Unfortunately, that was Whenua Blake. He's not on the field at the moment, but I'm going to say Whenua Blake is going to score a try in this game. The chances of it happening are probably about as slim as one of these sides winning by 50 from here, but I'm going to say it. Whenua Blake might try scorer in the near future, and Samoa need to use their bench better. Need Spencer and Channel on the second half, says Rapidi. Yeah, Harris Tavita actually did very well in his last matchup. So I'd like to think they won't be too far away from giving him an opportunity for the second 40 here. Josh Papali'i has shown that he can have a real impact when he makes his way off the bench. He has already found quite a few offloads throughout the early stages of his matchup. But I will mention as well, the position relatively close, but I believe just in favor of the Samoans narrowly. And the territory, we did see quite a bit more for Samoa early, but then it just started going a little bit further back into the Tongans' favor by the end. And one word to describe the first half, physical, I guess is the best way, but also not as physical as I expected. I know that's more than one word, but physical is my word. But I guess now it's the explaining side of things as well. Yeah, not as physical as I expected. Taylor May put in an absolutely massive shot, which was brilliant to see. I do see here Argentina taking the lead in their game up against England, ladies and gentlemen, now sitting at a total of 17 points to 16 in favor of the Argentines. And the first half, says Izzy Gal. And there as well, but currently just waiting for the halftime break to be over, and then we will be straight back into the action for the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, do let me know if you haven't already. What do you think the score will be at the end of this match? What is the winning margin? And if you want to be even more precise, what is the exact score that we are going to see here? I have no idea about the exact score. I'm still saying Tonga win it by 6. I think their second half is really going to have to be so important for them throughout this matchup. And you know, I want to say that there's going to be a good chance that maybe David Fafita scores himself a try off the bench, just because he is not really at a run yet, I don't believe. Or we haven't seen him running around on the field too much anyway. So to save him till way later in the game is going to be nothing but beneficial for the Tongans. And let's go Samoa, says Pepe there. Yeah, Samoa, they certainly have the team to also be able to take out this win. Like I mentioned, they want to get revenge over England, who beat them in the group stage. They have now said that game, we were having an off game. If you let us get through and you let us verse them again, we're going to show them what Samoa can do in rugby league. We're going to have a drink again, or else my voice will disappear. To be honest, I have no idea how it hasn't. Already, we have done over 20 hours of live streaming. Where can I watch the game? Live Spark Sport here in New Zealand is your best bet. 19 points to 18 to Samoa, says Nick Priest there. And also 18 for the Tongans, 24 for Samoa. Let's go, says SB. We can see Tongan Santa is in attendance for this game. I don't know whether he can see out those glasses, though. But the kid get in the picture with the Tongan Santa as he makes his way back to his seat, but it's going to be an entertaining second half, that is for sure. That man who's banging the drum looks very similar to Josh Kaifer, if anyone knows who that is from the New Zealand rugby side of things.